Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode. In this one we are having a quick look at Context Logic or Wish stock. So of course in this episode we're looking at what Wish does, why this stock is potentially a great buy for the future, and a few other things which you want to know. And of course then at the end I'm going to be giving my predictions and all that kind of good stuff for the future, right? So if that does sound like a good plan for a video, and I really do hope it does, please do show it by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Of course every single subscriber matters as we are trying to grow the channel as fast as we possibly can, and you guys have been killing it recently. Of course, if you do want to come and join us on Discord, link to the Discord is down in the description. It's a great place to come and talk about stocks. Feel free to join in and say hi. Right, let's just jump straight into this episode then by having a quick look at Wish. So I'm going to use this image here. If you guys don't really know what Wish is, it's basically an online store, and it's very useful because what they do is they can basically take stuff from China or at least other cheap countries and then basically ship it to America and other richer countries. So if you don't know what this means, obviously basically Wish is like the third party, the company in the middle, which sells the stuff from China to countries like America and Europe as well. So obviously that is kind of a big market sector for the future, because if we do think about it, these products are cheap. I'm sure you guys have already heard of the site, but if you haven't, obviously it's very easy to find it, and you'll see that a lot of the products in there are extremely cheap. You might have seen people on YouTube doing unboxings of extremely cheap things on Wish, and you know what, it just goes to show what the prices on there are like. I mean, yes, some of the products aren't quality because of that, but regardless, you know, it is still a big market sector as people do want to get stuff for as cheap as they can, and to be honest, there are some quality buys on this site. So yeah, moving on to that. Obviously, when we think about this company is huge, this sector is huge, this market is huge. It's kind of like an e-commerce company if we think about what it does. And of course, when we look at basically how this is growing in the future, we are looking at the biggest sales downloaded app, I do believe. They operate in over 100 different countries around the world, and it's just huge. They have so many users. It's just a fantastic site when it comes to a business standpoint. So of course, the stock's name is Context Logic or Wish on the Nasdaq. That is its symbol, by the way. And if we do have a quick look out to one day, we can see that we are slightly positive on this stock. Now, if we're moving in slowly, then moving out to get a bit more context to see where we might go over the future, you know, we're just going to do that first. So if we do have a quick look on the one day, we can see we started off on 23.09 and we're finishing up the day on 24.13. So not a bad increase at all. Obviously, looking at the 5 day, we are up quite a bit, quite a nice bit actually. We're up 5%. So, you know, not the biggest growth that we have seen on the channel, but it does look quite stable. You know, there has been peaks, there has been dips, but they have not been as significant as we sometimes see in some other stocks. Moving out to 1 month though, we can see we're kind of on a linear path upwards, which is nice to see. And of course, moving out to 6 month, we can really see if it will show us the same thing. So maybe Google's glitching there. We are going to check on Yahoo Finance as well. But yeah, it does look like the stock is doing very well. So of course, let's have a quick look out to that 6 month chart and see what we are doing. And yes, it is actually correct. The stock is basically just growing stably over quite a long period of time. And I think, you know what, this growth is going to continue, but I do not think it's going to be as slow as this, or rather as flat as this. I think it's going to be a lot more peaks and a lot more dips on the way. And of course, I am not a financial advisor, but I do see this market sector as being quite decent. Now, what we're going to have a quick look at is some of the financial figures for this company. Of course, this is coming from Yahoo Finance, so shout out to them. But because it's the first time we've looked at the company, let's have a quick look at some of the figures. So for this year, and of course this year is on last year, and I think now it's becoming a lot more fair to make the predictions from this year over last year, because now we are looking at the December period. So basically the majority of the year has gone. So yeah, total revenue for this year so far, and of course we've only got a few days left. However, these few days are days, of course, leading up to Christmas, and Christmas, I do believe a lot of people will be buying stuff off this site. So, you know, maybe on the 30th of December, we will see a big increase from what we are looking at now, but regardless, I'm just going to go off the data that we have so far. Looking at total revenue figures for this year, we are at 2.32 thousand, it does say, or million, but of course I do believe this to be even higher than that. I do believe it's shorthanded. Obviously that is up from last year, which is good to see, and it's actually been up year on year since 2017, which is of course good to see. Like I said, it's a very stable growth company for the future. I think they've got like 32% year on year growth that they have seen, and I do believe it does show in the revenue figures, and I think it will continue to increase as we do move into the future. Anyway, yes, the cost of revenue this year was actually higher than it was in previous years, and subsequently the profit is not too much higher than what it was in 2019. So I'm not too sure about what that is. I don't know if they've taken out loans or done something something to expand the business or whatnot, but the profit figure is actually just only slightly higher, but it is higher nonetheless, which is kind of a good sign, because of course we do want to see an increase in figure in revenue and whatnot. So when we do have a quick look at to some other expenses, we can see basically they are higher than they were in previous years, which kind of does show to me that maybe they have taken out loans or something, or done something which has put them slightly in the red. But even with that, they are still in the green technically for this year, only by a very, very small amount, you know, but the profit is actually greater than last year, and of course the company is profitable according to this figure by quite a significant amount. So yeah, looking at my predictions for the next few years going off this, I do believe that Wish is going to be a stable growth stock for the future. Now when we think about Wish and what the company does, you know, the market cap is apparently at 14.8 billion. Sorry, 14.18 billion, but it is still a very huge number regardless. I do think with a price of $24, the stock is definitely kind of undervalued in my personal opinion. Now, when it comes to buying this one and what I would personally expect, I would see this one as a more stable growth stock. That's just my personal opinion. I would say yes, it's definitely a buy and hold for the next few years, and I would expect, like I said, that 30% increase in company revenue and whatnot to definitely continue. But I would say, you know, if we are looking at this stock, maybe we are going to see an increase in the amount of people who do buy it in the next few weeks and months, obviously the IPO news and whatnot. But I do believe, you know, when it comes to this stock, it is definitely a buy and hold for a few years. That's just my opinion. So yes, Wish stock is definitely potentially a great portfolio diversifier, but that is my opinions for this video. I hope that you did enjoy it. If you did, please do leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye until then.